Hey everyone, this is Adam with Choral Clarity Mentorship, and today we are talking with one of our successful choir directors, Joey Hoffman. And today we are going to be diving deep into how the Choral Clarity Mentorship has impacted his teaching and his life. Joey, thank you for joining me today.
Hey,
So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your current job position, and how long you've been there?
sure. Yeah, I'm Joey Hoffman. I'm originally from the St. Louis, Missouri area. I went to college at Southeast Missouri State in Cape Girardeau. I graduated in the fall or the spring of 2023 with vocal music education. I'm currently the middle school choir teacher at Perry County Middle School in Perryville, Missouri. I teach three classes of sixth grade choir and three classes of seventh and eighth grade choir. This is my first year teaching.
So, what challenges were you facing before working with us?
The challenges I was facing were like I was basically feeling like I was in constant battle with the control of my classroom. I was getting very little done during the day. I had classes where we weren't even singing every day because behaviors were just so bad. I was to the point where I was just assigning other stuff that had nothing to do with singing in class. One of my classes concerts were taken away because of things, and it was just to the point where like my school's administration was on to me saying, you're not controlling your class very well. And it just got to the point where I was at a crossroads where I just wanted out of that place at that exact moment.
And what has the Choral Clarity Mentorship done to help you?
The Choral Clarity mentorship really helped me restore that I was my confidence in being able to teach choir. It's really helped me in knowing that, this is what you need to do to improve. Like knowing that before I could even go anywhere further into choir stuff, like, how can I keep control of my classroom? How can I make sure I'm holding students accountable when they're doing stuff they shouldn't be doing? How am I connecting with my students every day?
And could you describe describe the experience of the Choral Clarity Mentorship? What was the process like for you?
The process to me was I noticed like Adam had helped told me you need to create a mission statement. What is your mission? And that was something else that really kind of clicked to me that I need to have a clear why on what is my why of what I want my program to look like. What is my why of how I want to structure my classes. What like and knowing like anything you do, you can't just go in there and say this is how things are going to be, no questions asked. You want to have a clear why because something I learned this year just from being a first year teacher and later on in the school year if you would have asked me this in August, I would have had no clue what you were talking about is
So, how is the mentorship different than your college experience? Because you just came out of college, you started your job, and now you joined the mentorship. What makes this different?
the difference in what the mentorship is that in college it didn't really seem like there was a whole lot of like being able to talk about what in classroom experiences are because here in the mentorship you get to hear a whole lot of different perspectives from people in the mentorship calls and hear what different challenges people face where in college the most you can do say if you're sitting in a pedagogy class is think about things because it's teaching is something I've learned especially is that teaching is such a broad concept. Teaching is there's so much to it that college can't unfortunately teach you everything. Where whenever you enter your classroom your first year, you're so much is thrown at you at one time, and then and I feel like in the mentorship person, you're able to ask experienced teachers like that are in the mentorship with you, like what are some things that you do to fix this? Like how would you handle these types of situations? And just gain ideas and kind of figure out what floats your boat because what works for one teacher may not work for another. But if you're with a whole group of current teachers who are currently in the classroom, you're able to ask these types of questions, you're able to gain insights and potentially build some ideas on how to fix things. Because there's a lot of things I've learned this year that I would definitely do differently if I could go back in time in August and fix things.
So, what sort of results do you feel you got as a result of being part of the mentorship program?
You're saying what results?
Yeah, what results?
Results that I got that I was able to see, especially within a couple of weeks of implementing the new management plan that I did, was that especially my sixth grade classes for sure. My seventh and eighth grade class were a little bit of a different story, but the sixth grade classes where they were not so bad at first, like there was a little bit of calling out, but once I established the guidelines and was being consistent in enforcing them, I noticed that whenever I was in the front of the room talking, I noticed that the class was a lot more quiet instead of there was a lot less calling out, and those were some of the issues that I was dealing with. That's one of the results. The other result was that instead of reacting in a negative way to students, I just started reacting with a smile when they acted up. And it was really, there was one particular class I can think of that was driving the particular culprits that I was dealing with constantly crazy. They were like, why are you smiling? Because I was reacting in an entirely different way. I still smiled to some. I can picture the exact moment that I was doing it. I can picture the exact moment they were asking that question.
And how did that impact you?
It impact like how did the interactions with the students?
No, how did the results, the changes of what was happening in the classroom, the results that you've gotten, how did that impact you?
It impacted me, showing me that you are able to control your class, showing me that you are able to react in not an anger way, because beforehand I was getting mad a lot. I still think that Adam telling me about his first few years of teaching, like, I felt like I was getting mad a lot. I felt like I was just wanting to throw my books across the room because students weren't doing what I wanted them to do. And I just feel like the fact that I was reacting to their misbehaving in a much more positive way and showing them that, hey, you know, you think you can just sit here and break me like this. That's not going to happen. This is not your classroom. This is my classroom. And I just feel like that it really restored some confidence that I had been losing constantly because of all the stress I'd been going through. Not just the stress of the fact that students were misbehaving a lot, but the fact that I just felt like I was going nowhere, and that everyone in the school was mad at me because of the job I was doing. And I just feel like it really helped make me feel a lot better.
And where do you think you would have been if you didn't join the mentorship program?
Oh gosh. I feel like things would not have turned around as well as they did. I feel like that the things that I have learned from what I was doing wrong the beginning of the year to now may not have come as soon as it did. And because I will say a lot of things that just by kind of learning about like what's going wrong here, I feel like things would definitely have not have changed the way they should have. And I just feel like I would have still been in the same stressful boat that I was in back in November and December, because things and I just feel like things would not have done as well. Because something else I've learned is that whenever you're a new teacher, especially, definitely look for new things to bring into your classroom. I would say maybe weekly, maybe not daily because that may be a lot, but weekly, because I've also learned that if you're constantly doing the same things over and over and over again, your students are going to end up falling asleep. The next thing you know, you're going to have like maybe half your class participate. You may be lucky and have a class like I did that was singing almost all the time, regardless. But not all your classes are going to be like that, and sometimes that could be none of your classes.
If there if there is anyone who is maybe on the fence about working with us or booking a call to speak with us, what would you tell them?
I would say depending on your situation, definitely go ahead and do it, because what I learned is that if you're not going to want to try to do new things, then it's going to be tough, because yes, there may be other resources out there. I'm not sure what may be causing you to do this. For me, it was definitely classroom management, but for you, you could be struggling with having students matching pitch. It could be a number of things. There's so many different things that Adam offers here, not just classroom management. Because if you feel like you're golden on classroom management, or you're at a place that is manageable but you want to do other things, definitely still go for it, because it was definitely beneficial for me. My priority was classroom management. That's mostly what I've been working with, because if you don't have control, from what I learned, if you don't have control of your class, there's not a whole lot more you can do, because you're only going to have half, if not none, of your students' attention.
Awesome. Well, Joey, thank you so much. And for everybody listening out there, we have teachers of all different ages and ranges of experience, from first year teachers to 25 and 30-year veterans. And working together has been one of the real key things that it's helped choral directors, that they get to work together and learn from one another.